Greetings. Today we are very excited to have Stephen with us. He is studying the Calvin University Education in Leadership program. And Stephen, this program, one of the distinctive features is to face the context of today. How do you see this program help you to face the changing context around you?
Yes, the world is ever-changing. And there's nothing, I think, in the world that's permanent. I have been looking for things that will never change. It's permanent, as a permanent reference frame. So that's why I was converted as a Christian in 1983, some time ago. And I found that the world is fading, is ever-changing, but somehow our Lord will never change. And yesterday, today, and tomorrow is the same. So that's my reference frame that I can depend on, back up myself to look for the future. This course helped me to put myself in a position to recognize myself in terms of time and space. So although the world is changing, somehow a lot of principles, a lot of practice, they are not changing. And it seems a lot of things in the world, people will say yes, and others say no. And turn left, others say turn right. So in my decision to choose, I found myself more capable in doing so, especially during the course, a lot of training to have prayer and also spiritual practice, and also a lot of biblical principles that we should adhere on before we try to decide things and make decisions. So although there's a lot of changes in the world, especially in the world context of our time, I found myself more capable in dealing with that after the course.
Okay, so you see in God an unchanging God, and also with certain principles that are eternally applicable to all contexts.
Yes.
However, our God is a creation God. He entered into time and space. And Jesus incarnates and crucified and lived among us. So God dances with human entangled in history. So how do you see this program also help you to dance and tangle with your own time and context? It's not eternally all the time, but how the eternal and the present intertwine?
When we see the things changing, ever-changing in the world, especially those decades, is exponentially changing. Sometimes I find myself in a dark area. I couldn't find myself way out, or I get lost. And well, there are things that we can depend on, so that we can not only follow the current of the world, and a lot of so-called ideologies, and also the forces and power behind those things happen. And that's exactly the first advice that university they tell us to think deeply. Somehow, when you follow the appearance of the news, and also the things happen in the surface, I think we get lost, and I myself get lost for a long time. So we need to go back to the basic principle, and then see the things causing the things in the context that we can tackle the problem. And a lot of things we need to have faith, and also especially in this time, we need to have hope also. So I found I can get a sense to have the solution in tackle those issues, especially in our context. Yes.
Now, this Calvin program is on education, focus on leadership. leadership is a very difficult word today.
Yes.
People are very disappointed with a lot of leaders and leadership. And most people don't want to be a leader at all right? And then I said, well, maybe servant leadership is okay, you know. So how will you see this program help you to shape your leadership and your view on leadership?
It's very true that leadership is a very difficult, difficult position, especially those counterexample. Right? I don't want to be one that will be welcomed by my departure. Hence, when I step down, and also as a Christian, and I found myself after some times, about 40 years already after my conversion as a Christian, I should be in the position of a leader, a Christian leader in the church and also in groups and ministry. But I find myself avoiding them because those leadership I find physically is not good to my own view. And I try myself very best to avoid those positions. And I find myself free from those burdens. And this leadership course, it's not emphasizing, they did, but they didn't emphasize on the technical side and also the program side, but they focus more on our life and also our relationship with our Lord. And a lot of practice and also grow in the learning and also faith community together with our local faculty, fellow student and classmate, and also the University of Calvin, that side, that professors, they have got very good example of Christian faith. And I appreciate very much if I was not in a good relation and walking with our Lord, I couldn't proceed with my master course in Calvin in collaboration with Lumina. So those 3 years I walked closely with our Lord, and that relation will build up a trust and also faith in our Lord, that I try to avoid those positions and our Lord try to call me into. So it's not a thing of my own choice or whether I like it or not. I will try to escape or not to escape, but somehow I found this is a cross that I should bear myself. Just like our Lord bearing his cross. I think it's similar. I think that's the same. So this course is very special for me. Is coming back to God's calling that's been calling me for decades. And that's very much impressive to me. Yes.
Very good. Now, you have been studying many degrees. You have a doctorate in law, dentistry, and many others. So maybe through your support of Lumina College, you try to study this Calvin program. So how would you find it's different from your expectation, this program, after you are now 3 years entering into graduating sessions? What are the difference from your former expectations?
Well, actually, that's coming back to the points that I previously mentioned, that I used to be thinking of studying Christian faith is Christian faith. I used to study spiritual things in in a seminary school or in a degree of theology. Actually, my academic degree is mainly for interest, except for the first one is for survival. This one is for earning a living and also my own interest. So the other is only for enrichment and also for additional training. It's nothing to do with theology or spiritual things. I was longing to become a pastor. That was the decision that was avoided and afraid by my family, because it's not their expectation. But somehow I think I found the course in Lumina and also in Calvin. Especially this master course will bring me back to the basis of faith, so that I can build up myself with all the ingredients or others degrees they're segregated. Law is law, dentistry is dentistry, and then business is business. They're segregated. But somehow with the foundation, the worldview, and also the Christian faith as a foundation, they can build up, articulate themselves so that it is a holistic thing that I can integrate it so that I can be my own self in the law's hand so that I can develop more in the future. So it's quite different. It's not the segregated degree, but now it's the integrated things, including my primary school, including my secondary school, including my tertiary school. So that's very infusing and also enriching in the sense that we embrace. Just like Prof. Leung, by the time we call you Mr. Leung, that students have got n-dimensional potential for development. At this n-dimensional within the law, I think I come back to Prof. Leung is that the Lumina College and also the Calvin University, especially this master program, fit in very well that perspective. So it's integrated.
Very good. So the Calvin program at Lumina helps you not only to integrate your learning now, and also to integrate your former degrees and other learnings into a holistic substance, into a holistic core, so that you can move on.
I think that's transformation.
Very good. Very good. So thank you, Stephen, for coming with us. And this is very rewarding for you. And thank you for sharing.